Good morning, everyone. Wildlife photography, just like any other skill, is all about practicing and exercising your photographic abilities to constantly improve. I am absolutely passionate about wildlife photography, but I have a huge problem. I don't have a lick of natural talent. So today, I wanted to show you what I do on a regular basis to hone this skill and what exercises. No, not those. What photography-related exercises I do on a regular basis to become a better wildlife photographer. Let's get into it. As we go through this video, I'd love for you to think about what exercises you've done in the past or what you currently do to help improve your own wildlife photography, and to share those down in the comments below. I love learning from you guys. Let's start off with one of my favorite exercises, one that you can do pretty much anywhere. Take your camera and pick a small stationary object. In this example, I'll be using this lone pine cone. Raise the camera and find the subject as quickly as possible in the viewfinder. If you're using a zoom lens, progressively zoom in, as a longer focal length will make it more difficult to quickly find your subject, and you'll get more and more practiced as you do this. This is an exercise that will greatly increase your ability to quickly find any wildlife you're photographing in your viewfinder. There is nothing more frustrating in wildlife photography than having some amazing scene unfolding in front of you and not being able to find it when you're looking through your viewfinder. Once you master this exercise, move from a stationary subject to something like a bird or plane flying in the sky. This can be much more difficult since you don't usually have landmarks to help you orient yourself as your subject is constantly moving. If you want to make this exercise even harder, turn on the live view on your LCD and locate the subject without using the viewfinder. You may be wondering when you'd actually shoot like that in the field. We'll get into that in a bit. This is a series of exercises that I practice regularly, whether I'm out in the field or at home in my own backyard. And I can tell you from my own experience just how much it'll help improve your wildlife photography. For this next exercise, you'll once again need your camera and you'll need a moving subject. This can be anything from the seagulls flying around at the local park to your dog or kids running around in your backyard. Once you've picked your moving subject, repeat the first exercise, but this time continue to track that subject in the viewfinder as long as possible. You don't need to actually be taking pictures, although that can be fun. You simply want to practice tracking a moving subject and continue tracking that subject as long as you can. I used to be just awful with birds in flight photography and general action shots. I began to use this exercise regularly and I quickly began to see my photography improve. As we did with the first exercise, once you've mastered tracking a moving subject through the viewfinder, switch to using the live view mode on your LCD screen while holding the camera away from your face. You'll likely be surprised at how difficult this is compared to using the viewfinder, but trust me, it's a good skill to hone. So you may be wondering, why is shooting through the LCD a good skill to hone? When will I ever actually shoot like that out in the field? Well, let's talk about it. In most cases, when photographing wildlife, you want to be on the animal's eye level. This is much more simple when photographing something like a bison or a large bear. When photographing a smaller animal, you can definitely lay on the ground to get on the eye level that way, but this can get very uncomfortable very quickly, and you run the risk of laying on an ant nest or a cactus. I'm speaking from personal experience here. Instead, what I like to do is shoot by looking at the LCD screen. This is much easier if your screen swivels out, but it's still possible even if it doesn't. I shoot this way with nearly all small animals and have even used it on larger mammals as well. On a recent Florida wildlife workshop, I shot this way multiple times each day and got great results. As I mentioned before, repeat the previous exercises while shooting in this manner. It can be incredibly difficult to find and track a moving subject while photographing this way, and can also be very difficult just to keep your camera level. So practice shooting in this way as much as you can, and you'll be so grateful that you did when you put it into use in the field. If you use a tripod in your wildlife photography, spend some time practicing with it at home. I've missed so many incredible photo opportunities because I wasn't able to set my tripod up fast enough. Practice setting it up quickly while making sure it's level. Practice balancing your camera on it. Practice different ways of carrying it so that you can quickly and safely do so in the field without bumping obstacles around you. I also highly recommend spending some time figuring out the most comfortable and stable way to handhold a large lens in case you're caught without your tripod. This is something that I've been practicing a lot over the last couple of years, and it's gotten to the point where I rarely have to bring my tripod with me anymore. I'm able to keep my lenses steady while shooting even larger and heavier lenses, and it's been quite liberating not having a tripod that I have to carry around with me. Join me on an amazing safari in Kenya's Masai Mara. Incredible wildlife encounters, a comfortable safari camp with all the accommodations, enough room in the vehicles for yourself, your gear, and uninterrupted views from both sides, and the best guides out there. Our full days in the field lead to encounter after encounter, starting before the sun has risen and ending after it's set. Spots are available for later this year and early next year, so hit the link in the description below to get more details and to sign up now. Let's get back into it. One of the easiest but most useful exercises that you can do at home or just about anywhere is adjusting your buttons without looking. Know how to adjust ISO, shutter speed, aperture, and white balance. Know how to switch from photo to video and back again. Know how to change shooting modes, autofocus modes, and change your focus point selection, all without ever looking at the camera. Committing these settings to muscle memory is one of the easiest and best things you can do to become quicker in the field, leading to more shots and less missed opportunities. Earlier in this video, I was joking about this type of exercising helping you in your wildlife photography. All joking aside, I have found that things like hand-holding a larger lens, carrying a tripod and camera or photo bag around all day, or crouching down repeatedly to photograph a smaller animal become drastically easier when I try to keep myself physically fit. An exercise that I thoroughly enjoy is picking out an object in my yard and photographing it from various directions and in various light conditions. By familiarizing yourself with these different light directions and conditions, you can quickly learn how to effectively use side and backlight, how to create silhouettes, what conditions are necessary to naturally add more colors to your backgrounds and foregrounds, how to create and utilize sunbursts in your photography, and so much more. By learning what conditions to look for and how to react to changing light, you can quickly and effectively put these skills to practice in the field and get the results you want without missing your shot. Ideally, most of your photography exercises and practice would come from actually photographing wildlife in the field, but that can't always be the case. So practice anytime you can, whether it's at home, at the park, or on your lunch break at work. As I mentioned earlier in this video, I don't have any natural talent when it comes to photography, but through a lot of trial and error and countless hours of practice, I've been able to get my wildlife photography to a point where I can say that I'm proud of. And I'm so excited to continue to learn new abilities and hone these skills. Now that you're practiced and you're ready to photograph wildlife, you need to actually find some. Check this video out right here as I review one of my favorite methods for finding wildlife to photograph. Thank you so much for following along. I always appreciate your support. We'll see you next time.